Om Muni Muni Maha Muniye Swaha. 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 Om Muni Muni Maha Muniye Swaha.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lord of Dharma for all the mysteries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech them. I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lord of Dharma for all Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lord of Dharma for all Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands,
All directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands,
I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions. Misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma. Misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas
all bewildered in misery's gloom. Let us all place our palms together to request Geshe to turn the wheel of Dharma according to the well wishes and capacities of the students.
Good morning, Geshe. So let's just take a few minutes to settle into our seats. And just make sure your back is straight and relaxed, and your eyes are cast at a 45-degree angle, half open. And you can just do a quick body scan to check whether any part of your body needs a little extra attention. If so, just breathe into it and relax. And then bring your attention to the in and out of your breath. And with each out breath, just relax and completely let go. And just focus and rejoice in the in and out of our breath, that we have not died last night, and we are still awake and have another beautiful day to practice the Dharma. And now, from this quiet space, we visualize in front of us the refuge field. Sitting on a beautiful lotus and moon cushion is none other than our Guru, if you have one, in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha. one face and two hands, surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions, and by all our teachers, each one of us looking at us with great love and compassion. So just take a moment to feel that loving, compassionate presence. And surrounding us is the bodhicitta field. On our left-hand side is our mother and all female sentient beings from the 6 realms. And on the right-hand side is our father and all male sentient beings from the 6 realms. So we include everyone in our practice without leaving a single sentient being. And then we remind ourselves of the purpose of this practice, that we are here to remove the dirt from the wisdom or the jewel of our clear light mind, so that we can progress on the path by removing the dirt of the afflictive and cognitive obscurations to attain ultimate happiness for the benefit of each and every sentient being. So by keeping the meaning of what we are going to recite, the verses, and their associated experiences, let us turn to page 3. Page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. So we'll take refuge and generate bodhicitta, first in English and then in Tibetan. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye chodan sogi chognam la jangju bardu dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sonam ki trola pencher sangye drupar shog. Sangye chodan sogi chognam la jangju bardu dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sonam ki drola pencher sangye drupar shog. Sangye chodan sogi chognam la jangju bardu dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sonam ki drola pencher sangye drupar shog. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. So we'll recite the essence of the dependent origination mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te shantata gato hevadat te shanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te shantata gato hevadat te shanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te shantata gato hevadat te shanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Meaning of the 10 Ningpo mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, I pay obeisance. The 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine for all misery's gloom. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, if you are attached to self-interest, you have page 14, 1-4. 1-4. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, one gone beyond, the destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of human beings. To you, fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the three worlds are not. Incomparable, wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the Tathagata, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 2929. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on massive Vulture's Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of Bodhisattvas. At that evening, was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharadvati Putra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas dwell in the three times, also manifestly, completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra. So we'll recite the mantra 7 times. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Teata Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Teata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. By the teachings of the 3 supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed. May they be dispelled. May they be non-existent. May they be pacified. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Page 3535. With a determination to achieve the highest for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Dedication Prayer, verse 1. From my 2 collections, vast as space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. The 7-limb practice, the excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samantabhadra. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions, to all of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you, victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all the victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift up my hearts and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request, you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. And then the short mandala offering on page 4040. First in English and then in Tibetan. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Sashi Ki Ju Shing Me Tu Tram Ri Ro Bling Shi Ni De Gen Po Di Sangye Jing Du Mik Te U Wa Namadai Jing La Chu Parshu. The four dharmas of Venerable Gampopa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the dharma. May I be blessed that my dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is freed of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. The next page. The Foundation of All Good Qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to the Guru is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon the Guru with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. So we'll recite the meaning of the Miksema verse, followed by the Miksema verse 3 times. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom. as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows. Losang Drapa, at your feet I make prostrations. Mig me se we ter chen chen re zig dri me ken pe wam po jam pel yang gan chen ke pe zu gen song ka pa lo zang dra pe za bla zo wa de mig me ze we ter chen chen re zi dri me ken pe wam pu jam pel yang gan chen ke pe zu gen song ka pa lo zang dra pe za bla zo wa de mig me ze we ter chen chen re zig dri me ken pe wam po jam pel yang gan chen ke pe zu gen song ka pa lo zang dra pe za bla zo wa de.
Okay, thank you, Venerable. Thank you so much. Now, the main practice, which is the generating the consummate, generating the consummate mind of enlightenment, generating the mind of consummate yoga. Consummate yoga, yes. In Tibetan, it is Tamje Nejuk Semkeba, generating the mind of consummate yoga. So basically, this comes in the context of the tantric empowerment. And when I was the part of the receiving teachings from His Holiness, and I saw that this part is extremely important, and it can be used not necessarily only for the tantric empowerment. It can be used daily for our practice as a part of the sutra practice. It's about the Bodhisattva, wisdom, and so forth. So I extracted this as a separate thing, and later on, I was so glad that His Holiness, during the public teachings, once His Holiness, I think on several occasions, His Holiness did the same thing,
as a separate practice, not necessarily associated with the tantric empowerment. So it is like endorsement of what we did. So with this in mind, for this 4 things, so finally, to make sense of our life, 4 things. The 1 is the wisdom is required. So just see if what you've learned thus far resonates with what I'm sharing with you now. We require the wisdom to cleanse them out of the mental defilements. What we want is we want to stop all the fears, all the loss of freedom, the tears of life, and to expand our happiness. For that matter, these things are already within us. Only things that these are obscured by the mental defilements, like the gold. We are seeking gold. The gold is already within us. It's only obscured by the mud or the dirt that we don't see the gold. So our job is to remove the dirt or the mud, likewise to remove the mental defilements. For that, we need to apply the corresponding or respective the remedies. And the remedy depends on the nature of the mental defilements. And knowing that the mental defilements, they're rooted to the ignorance, they're remedialized in the wisdom. So we need to cultivate the wisdom. This is number 1. And this wisdom, how effective this is going to be like, is determined by your enthusiasm. Even though you have the very sharp axe, but if you don't have the enthusiasm to cut the poisonous tree, then it'll never get cut. You may just hit it once or twice and see this huge tree, and you may say that I'll do tomorrow with the least enthusiasm. So we require the best of the enthusiasm to cut the subtlest of the mental defilements. And the best of the enthusiasm is the enthusiasm bodhicitta, the unconditional love of the bodhicitta, number 2. And this bodhicitta is with respect to is the thought which reaches out to the other sentient beings. And to what extent this bodhicitta is powerful, it is determined by the experience of the pains on yourself. If you don't know what the pain is like upon yourself, then you cannot really empathize with other people when the beings are suffering. So the pain, seeing the pain within yourself and wanting to get away from this pain is known as renunciation. We need the renunciation. So these 3 things are known as the 3 principal aspects of the path, or the 3 principal paths. So, so whatever practice that you do, whatever tradition that you engage in, the whole purpose is whether you go into science, whether you go into just any musical concert, whatever. If you think that this is what helps you to attain the ultimate goal, so make sure that these 3 things are there. These 3 things are there. Then, to make sure that these 3 things are stabilized, we require on the stability of these 3 qualities. Otherwise, there's a Tibetan expression which says that when there's good sunshine and good food, you in the facade of Dhamma practitioner with a smile and Dhamma person, then like this, the moment you meet with the tragedy, then you really display your agitation, irritation, and so forth. You lose the cool. So that is not the real Dhamma practice, because there's no stability there. So to create the stability, we require the shamatha meditation. So these 4 things are required. And then on top of that, you want to add anything, mantra recitation, prestations, anything you can add, that's up to you. But these 4 things should not be missed. If you miss these 4 things, and if you think that you're doing something else, yes, why I'm saying all these things is because in my life, there were some people who were initially they were so serious with those 4 things. Suddenly they will meet with someone at the end of the teacher. I'm not saying they'll come to me. It's about these other 4 things. You can go anywhere. Don't miss those 4 things. Then they suddenly, after a while, I meet the same person. Then I would start to share something, and I would encourage the person. You have to practice the emptiness. And the person said that I met with something else. Then I'm literally shocked. I met with something else. So which means the emptiness is not a part of your meditation. He said, no. Done. So then the person thinks that their sense of air, that what I'm doing is superior. So emptiness is just nothing. When that element comes to you, that air, that what I'm doing is something superior, medicine is turned into poison. Nobody can help you. Nobody can help you. Because you think that anybody who comes to tell you that, and what are you doing is inferior. If this is air, finished, nobody can help you. So right from the beginning, make sure these four things are there. These four things, and then add anything you want to add. Add anything. And then through experience, you will see that with emptiness. So usually what I say is that people say that, oh, see, why do you have to study? Practice. Why do we need Bodhisattva? Practice. Practice Bodhisattva. Just talk, talk, talk. Bodhisattva. What is talk, talk, talk? Bodhisattva. Practice Bodhisattva. So what do you practice if there are no ingredients? What to cook? Cook food without ingredients. So this is issue. This I've seen. So therefore, the legitimate person to see that, for example, say that the legitimate person who said, what is quantum physics? It doesn't make any sense. Say Newtonian physics. This is amazing. Quantum physics is just nothing. What Niels Bohr, the Heisenberg, what did they say? This is just nonsense. Who is eligible to say that quantum physics nonsense is somebody who knows quantum physics? If you don't know quantum physics, you are not eligible to talk to describe quantum physics as nonsense. You are nonsense. So therefore, somebody to say that emptiness is just trivial. First, you have to have the experience of emptiness. If you don't have the experience of emptiness, you are not the legitimate person to speak on that. You cannot judge emptiness. Only those people who have a clear understanding of emptiness, and then you say that, oh, this is just useless. And how do you know that you have the clear understanding? Talk to Arya Nagarjuna, talk to Arya Nagarjuna's books. You see that you reflect these things so well, and then you replicate these things in front of the great teachers like my teachers in South India. These great teachers say, yes, this person truly understands emptiness. And then you can say emptiness doesn't make any sense. At that point, you will say that emptiness is the supreme. Arya Nagarjuna said, impermanence, suffering, and selflessness. And the emptiness is supreme in the purification of your mind. You will experience that. So therefore, this is extremely sad. Before you get anywhere, you make a judgment that I have something superior. That spoils everything. It's a self-deception, and this is the worst thing. So four things. With four things intact, you can go anywhere. You add anything, it's fine. If you don't miss those four things, you can do anything. Okay, with this mind, first 5 minutes meditation. Now no need of further explanation. Ready? Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, next for renunciation, we do the the four seals. That's going to be guided, and likelihood, most likelihood, tomorrow we will not have guided meditation. It's going to be you do it on your own. I just give you um, the main the lines, and then you meditate on this. So today is going to be guided. Means that while you meditate, you also try to remember the points. Remember the points, how you should lead your analytical meditation. What we did, the first one is this single point meditation or shamatha meditation. So now is an analytical meditation. We require both renunciation, bodhisattva, wisdom, and emptiness. These three are analytical meditation. And then what we did just now is a single point meditation. Both required, but one actually which helps us to bring about transformation within the mind. It is the analytical meditation. With single point meditation, it can partly help us, but the upgradation from gate, paragate, it never happens only by single point of meditation. We require analytical meditation. But this analytical meditation, as I said, gade means you are stacking the building, stacking the bricks. So for that, it should be very stable. So as with the analytical meditation, you grow, you upgrade yourself. So single point meditation also required alongside to stabilize, to keep building, keep stacking your spiritual realizations. Okay, so ready? And all along the analytical meditation, what I would suggest is that just flow with the instructions. Don't try to make any correlations with what the instructions that is being given now versus what you've learned before, what you've read before, what you have contemplated before, what you've heard before. Don't try to make any correlations. If you do that, you will miss the meditation part. So if you want to correlate, if you want to make the correlations, you can do that. Not now, later. And you can be where you see contradictions, clarification required. Feel free to bring them up in your group discussions as well as on my table. Good? Okay. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce our miseries, not to renounce our happiness. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of miseries. While the causes of miseries continue, the miseries will ever perpetuate. And the Buddha taught, Ye Dharma Hedu Prabhava, all these phenomena, particularly of the miseries, they arise from the causes. Hetum Desham Tathagato Hyavatat. What these causes are is taught by the Buddha. So Buddha doesn't mean Buddha himself, Buddha Shakyamuni himself, referring to all the Buddhas of the past, present, the future. So what is taught and identified as the cause of miseries, quantum karmas, afflictions, inappropriate tension, and the self-grasping ignorance. And the ignorance, Buddha identifies so many levels of ignorance, and particularly Buddha identified 4 kinds of ignorance, which are so prevalently within us on a daily basis, which continue to make us create more negative, more gross afflictions, quantum karmas, and thus miseries. The 4 kinds of ignorance: the ignorance misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, ignorance misperceiving miseries as happiness, ignorance which misperceives impure things as pure, and ignorance which misperceives what is selfless nature as of self-hurt. So, to eradicate these 4 kinds of ignorance, the Buddha taught the 4 seals. The first seal, all composite things impermanent. But if it's a composite phenomena which is constituted or composed of material paths or temporal paths should necessarily be undergoing changes out of the nature of impermanence. And this impermanence is of two kinds, the gross and subtle. Is so important for us to begin with a meditation, contemplation on the gross impermanence. Gross impermanence defined as impermanent phenomena whose continuum comes to an end. But it doesn't mean that subtle impermanence is whose continuum continues. This is not the connotation. Gross impermanence constitute, we have very beautiful days in our life. Once upon a time, when you are in the lap of the mother just smiling at you, hugging you, and you feel so secure in the mother's arms. And the beautiful days we had, like family gathering, birthday parties, and going to the ocean and see the breeze, feel the breeze, and see the very gentle waves, sunset, and go to the wilderness, the whisper of the pine tree, so beautiful, so healing. They're gone. Yes. Your youth, gone. And you, the young ones, have aspirations. I want to do this. I want to do. Sometimes when you don't fulfill your aspirations, or you're struggling, there's so much tension and have so much plans in life. And the parents also have the expectations from the children. And 200 years ago, 150 years ago, whatever is happening today was actually happening in those days as well. There were young ones, old ones, and so forth. Whether the plans are accomplished or not, they're all gone. Although with plans, even the people who have the plans in their mind, they're all gone. And so what is left? Not even a single person left. Today we talk about, people with this kind of, say, the immortal beings. These are like stories, legends. Is it possible? Answer is 100% yes, possible. But it's so rare. 1 out of 1 billion human beings, 1 out of 10 billion are the creatures. But on the level of the appearance of the common people, it is just stories. All are gone. All are gone. Perhaps 150 years ago, the population of the world is few millions. And today, they're all gone. There's not even a single person is left. It's all gone. If you don't believe, all the ruins of the fortresses, these are the proofs of that. Once upon a time, people even did not dare to go close by the so-called fort or the palaces and so forth. Now they are in the ruins. What do you see there? And the king's bodies, which are being preserved, are so precious. Nobody even dared to be there close by. Now they become like exhibits in the museum. Many people even don't identify who these people are. This is exactly impermanence. So with this mind, it's not that only they're gone. 100 years from now, 150 years from now, not even a single person out of 8 billion human beings, not even a single person will be left then. This will happen to us. And somebody then will talk about impermanence. 100 years ago, once I read somewhere in the book that there is a center, somewhere like Tushita something, and Dharamsala, and there was an extremely great teacher and great master, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. But now, where is this place? Where's the place? Tushita. So this will one day it'll happen. So this impermanence. To summarize this, the Buddha taught, Whatever gathers will disperse. Whatever is accumulated will be exhausted. Whatever stands falls. And whatever is born will die. Yes, that's very true. Then we become more realistic. We'll not latch on to the wealth, only preoccupied with the wealth, the power, status, the beauty, youth, and so forth. This is all illusory. They will disappear. It will be only when we come to realize these. Yes, these are like the temporary loans given to you. Use them. Use them. Don't. Then we have to leave everything behind. Why should we invest everything to suffer in the future? In the future lifetimes, we suffer with endless tears. What's the point? Wise people will see them as loans. You use them. They're loan to you. Use them, and then you leave them. So we leave, and then you regret. So that should not happen. Wise people will think of these all composite things as impermanent, way out of time, and this is wise. And those who cannot think of these, things, your house, your say the wealth, the power, and so forth, as like a loan for you, as a temporary loan, who do not see these as loans, then they will invest the whole emotionally. You're attached to this. You forget about preparing yourself for the journey ahead, and then at the end, when you have to leave everything, finish, you regret. Alexander the Great, who conquered almost the entire world at the time of his death, on the deathbed, he called his ministers and said, "When I die, I have 3 wills for you." And the minister asked, "What are the 3 wills?" And the first will, the person to carry my coffin to the graveyard should be only my doctors, not anyone else. Number 2, all the wealth I've gathered from invading this kingdom, that kingdom, and so forth, all this wealth from the place where I am now to the graveyard, just scatter these wealth all along this path to the graveyard. Number 3, that when you put my body in the coffin and take it to the graveyard, just make sure that my 2 hands come out dangling out of the coffin. And the minister was confused. He thought that 3 wills, there must be something very important. And what are these 2? Why, Your Highness, the Alexander the Great, why did you leave these wills? Why these 3 wills? So, this is a big message for us. What his personality is, and his negative karmas accumulated by killing so many people, that's a different story. But these 3 things, these 3 wills, they're so important for us. Why only the doctors to carry his coffin? To tell the world that even the doctors cannot save your life, that his dead body, and people who carry his dead body, they are the doctors. They could not save this man. This is a dead body, it's not a living body. Number 1, this impermanence. Number 2, that whole wealth, no matter how much you possess this wealth, these are not yours. These are the loans. If you don't believe, Alexander the Great is leaving all this wealth on the path, and by the time he reaches there, the graveyard is just empty. You go empty-handed. These are all loans. They're not yours. Number 3, the 2 hands dangling out to tell the world that no matter how much you conquer the world, no matter how much you gather wealth, no matter what you have, so at the end of the day, you are born empty-handed, you go empty-handed. This is the message. And for us, as disciples of Buddha Shakyamuni, this is a big message for us. Remember that. So having said this, that all these change that you see, impermanence that we see, is marked by the momentariness, which is known as a subtle impermanence. It's not that all impermanent phenomena, they are subtle impermanent, but all impermanent phenomena should necessarily have the quality, the attribute of subtle impermanence. Every impermanent phenomenon must necessarily go through the momentariness. must have the element of the momentariness. You are not your hands, but you have the hands. Like with all impermanent phenomena, they are not subtle impermanent, but they have the subtle impermanence. So what is subtle impermanence? Momentariness. Where you see things are so static, oftentimes we feel attached to things, all because of failing to see things as momentarily disintegrating. For example, say we buy decorations, we buy exhibits, we buy this thing, that thing, and so forth, and then we see that these things break. It gives such a heart attack for us, so much of pain and anxiety within us, so much loss. This is a reality. We see them as permanent. Because of this, when the okay, with this, the changes that you see, on the gross level, gross impermanence, is possible only with the subtle changes. For example, the change that you see over the 10 years of a tree growing 10 feet tall is only because of the change that you see on the yearly basis. A change that you see on the yearly basis is possible, but a change happening on the monthly basis, daily basis. Don't just say that where there's a gross impermanence, there should be subtle impermanence, full stop. You will never experience what is subtle impermanence. So our mind should really be able to flow in this from the very gross state to the subtler in a gradual process, not jump. You jump, you'll never get there. So then the change that we see on the daily basis is possible, with the change happening on the hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis, millisecond by millisecond basis. Okay, second by second basis, then the change is visible. Tick, 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 tick. Visible. Then the 1 second split in 10 divisions. It is even more visible. Then it gives a sense of fear. You see the digits, the timer. You press your mobile, they press the timer, and then see how the digits move so fast. This is exactly how your body moves, how your, say, the house moves, how your the person who you love, your mom, dad, brother, sister, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, children. And these people, they'll move so fast like this. And once upon a time, so tender, so beautiful. And then over time, shape changes. This change was actually happening on minute by minute basis, second by second basis, millisecond by millisecond. We don't see that. We are being deceived by this perception of the limitation of our consciousness to see the subtle changes. Actually, the subtle changes are going. If we see them with your naked eyes, there's no way by which we will be attached to anything. This is amazing, so powerful. We think about it, contemplate on this more and more, then gradually your mind will flow in line with the subtle impermanence of the composite phenomena. Okay. It's very scary to really feel that all composite phenomena, they are running so fast, changing so fast. By the time I say, this is a beautiful flower, this is a beautiful chocolate cheesecake, and so forth, by the time I reach there, that object to which I felt attached to is already gone. And even the hand which is trying to reach it there, even that is also gone. Even the person who craved for that, even that is also gone. Again, the next moment came. So, substantially what is there is something so brief. Even what we call as brief is also actually not the correct connotation. So this is the meaning of subtle impermanence. Is a whole universe, whole world, your body, your house, your near and dear ones. Everything is like very fast moving train. Imagine somebody throws you in a fast moving train. What happens? You feel so much of fear. Faster the train moves, more the fear. Why? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. Now, who decides where this train is taking us is decided by the train driver. If the train driver is a mother or a dad, yes, lucky that you're going to take into a picnic spot. But if the train driver is the terrorists, or the train driver is under the dictate of the terrorists, it'll only take you to the slaughterhouse. Yes, in our case, it's so scary. I don't know where this very fast train, like my body is taking me. Where my mind is the train driver. Unfortunately, this mind, the train driver, is under dictate, under the power of the worst of the contamination, which is self-grasping ignorance. And this contamination, when accomplimented by self-centered, it makes things worse and worse and worse. Okay. This is the meaning of all contaminated things are suffering nature. Where there's a contamination, where is dictated by contamination, where is dictated by the terrorists, only will take us to the slaughterhouse. Likewise, where we are dictated by the contamination of self-grasping ignorance and all the offshoots of this, will only take us to the miseries. Miseries like what? There are three kinds of miseries: suffering, change, and pervasive condition. Progressively, as one evolves in your practice, you see progressively you see that if the suffering becomes subtler, more and more cunning. Initially, suffering is extremely painful, so agonizing, and then when you realize the suffering of the change responsible for holding you back to make you suffer in suffering, then you see suffering change is extremely cruel, and you feel suffering change is the one which binds me in samsara. And then you evolve further. The mastermind behind the suffering change, the suffering is suffering change, and mastermind behind suffering change is the quantum karmas and afflictions. Then you see that the pervasive condition suffering, that is the mastermind, and you feel extremely unhappy with the pervasive condition suffering. This is how you evolve. Okay. So and so at this moment, at this level of the level of our realization, we are so disturbed by the first suffering. One moment of such a tragedy is good enough. The loss of near and dear ones is good enough. You see, your mother is the whole world for you. Your husband is the whole world for you. Your wife is the whole world for you. Your child is the whole world for you. At the moment the person dies, you see the whole world is just hollow and vacuum and totally meaningless and the grim and shallow, totally meaningless. Yes, this is the meaning of and you just shed tears of pain, endless tears. All the past moments of the merriments, festivities, birthday parties, celebrations, wedding ceremony, and so forth, they are all just totally painful and meaningless and shallow and like a child's play. Yes. And then we see that the tears dominate all these things. This is the meaning of all contaminated things are self in nature. Yes, what is your next point? What's your next journey? What's your next question? Yes, is when will these tears stop? When will these agonizing pains stop? Oftentimes, husband and wife, when the husband dies or the wife dies, usually the other side, the other partner doesn't really last too long because just festered by the pains, in the grip of the acute pain, it just consumes the immunity, destroys the immunity, and just leaves the world soon after. This is samsara. So how to stop? When will these stop? They will not stop on their own. Never. Then there's no way out? Of course there's a way out. What's the way out? Just cut the root of the miseries. Hetum tesham tathagatu hevatab tesham chayo nirodha. The cessation of these miseries, the cause of misery, is also taught by the great seer. So what does that means to stop the cause of the miseries? Yes. Identify the cause of miseries, which is self-grasping ignorance. You have to stop that. How to stop that? By the wisdom. What is the wisdom? Wisdom is a discerning mind who is apprehension. apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is that which the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Okay, very quickly think of the emptiness now. Okay, let's say yourself. Say, how do you appear? What are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person who you identified as I exist? Like a dream that your mind is projecting it, or it's so solidly objectified, solidly there, of course, so objectified there. Okay, that belief that the self exists so objectified, that is the self-grasping ignorance. And how do you know that this ignorance is not a valid mind? How do you know this? To evaluate this, remember what Arya Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person who identifies I would exist objectively, why don't I see this I as a conclusive object? Conclusive object, we call it ultimate analysis. Subjecting itself to ultimate analysis, we just end up seeing the thin layer of the skin. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Behind that, the muscles, the cartilages, the whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the liver, spleen, and so forth. These solid parts of the body constitute the element earth, and none of the element earth is to be identified as the self. You are looking for the objective self, and none of these to be identified as self. Just ignore these. Next is the element water. 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart of the different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Element of fire, 2,600 joules of energy within your body. Of course, that is not me. People can see me from distance. They can see me. They cannot see this element of fire, the body heat. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Even that is, of course, also not me. Element of space, 99.99% of your body is vacuum space. You're just nothing. Your body is just nothing. The made of electrons, protons, neutrons, and the space between the nucleus and the electron is so vast in comparison with the space occupied by the electrons, protons, and neutrons. So essentially, we said we are like a vacuum, but I'm not a vacuum. I'm a solid person. So even this element of space is also not me. Element of consciousness, your mind. Of course, that is not me. People from distance, they can see me. They cannot see my mind. And also that I'm a male. I'm a female. I'm a non-male. I'm a non-female. So this gender is posited on the basis of my body, and so my mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. So therefore, even this mind is also not me. So what you see is that subjecting self to the ultimate analysis, we just end up seeing the 6 elements. And which of the 6 elements is to be identified as intrinsically, as from the object, as the self? None of them. If you're very confident of this, just stay in this experience. Then since that you're looking for this objective self which appeared before, and given that none of these 6 elements is to be identified as a self, remove them and see if the self does exist as different from these 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements, what is left? Nothing is left there as different from the 6 elements. Okay. Okay, now tell me, where is the self from the object now as you perceived it before? Okay, no way can I see the self as objectively there. Okay, good. This experience is amazing and profound. But what's the benefit of this meditation? Yes. Just as this self, you discovered that it does not exist objectively. Even your miseries don't exist objectively. Even they are like illusion. Are you sure? Yes. Subjecting these miseries to sickness, aging, death, tension, the pain of losing near and dear and so forth, when subject them to this ultimate analysis, we see that they also disappear. So all these miseries, all these sorrows dissolve in the experience of the emptiness. Because the sorrows, disturbances dissolve, your mind feels the lightness there. The lightness, the peace dawns in you. And these sorrows dissolve in the expanse of the emptiness. Very stable experience of the peace dawns in you. Wow, that's amazing. If I could sustain, if I can sustain this experience where this genuine peace dawns in me, nothing can affect me anymore. Genuine peace. If I can sustain this is amazing. Just generate very strong aspiration. May I experience this emptiness in a dualistic way, where all my miseries dissolve, may all my sorrows dissolve, where all my sorrows are transcended. Just generate this aspiration. This is the ultimate aspiration. This is the ultimate meaning of renunciation. Desire to experience the emptiness non-dualistically in a very confident, with full of confidence, where all your miseries are transcended. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, slowly come out of this practice to move to the Bodhisattva practice. Slowly come out. Okay, ready? Bodhisattva practice. For the Bodhisattva, while there are two methods, we have to study these two. Once studied, I would highly recommend that we actually do these two practices. I personally would say that usually it's not advisable to share your experiences with other people, but you do keep them all very low profile. But for you, I'm sharing these things now. I'm already in my 50s, late 50s. So sharing may inspire you. So it doesn't mean that I've realized bodhicitta, but the thing is that since I was 20, 21, I started to practice bodhicitta, and this is one of the closest practice which I feel for myself. I practice this, and of course, it is, I say, is a very slow progress, but however slow the progress is, little the progress is, these are all like the pieces of diamonds, so precious. Without these, you cannot really see the expanse of your heart expanding. This is the reality. And if this is not happening, no point in Tantra, no point in any other practice. And without this bodhicitta, then the wisdom of emptiness, even if you get some feel and you focus on this, at the most it can help you to get rid of the afflictive obscurations, not the cognitive obscurations. And you will not see the wonder, the treasure of the beauty of the expansion of the heart, and the peace that you get, the joy that you get. You will never possibly can imagine. You can even imagine what that is like. You cannot imagine it if you don't practice this bodhicitta. And then if that is not the case, then when you say Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, it's very shallow. It's very shallow. Because you don't feel the love of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You don't have the experiential feeling. To empathize somebody else, you should feel the pain yourself. Likewise, to appreciate somebody else's depth of compassion, you should have some experience of compassion yourself. So therefore, this is so precious. With this, then everything becomes so powerful. Your refuge will become very powerful. And your wisdom of emptiness becomes extremely powerful. So, Shariputra, who is being respected as the one with the greatest of the intelligence amongst the Shravakas who always surround the Buddha Shakyamuni. The Buddha compares the wisdom of the very simple Bodhisattva with the Shariputra's wisdom. The Buddha said that the wisdom of emptiness of the Bodhisattva, even the ordinary Bodhisattva, that far excels the wisdom of Shariputra, is all because of the bodhicitta. So bodhicitta makes everything beautiful, everything powerful. So this is something, for that matter, we need to practice these two methods. You have to learn these two methods, not just leave it on the on the intellectual knowledge. You have to actually practice them. Oftentimes, when I meet with my the monks from the monasteries, big monasteries, academic monasteries, the one thing that I check, of course, with the emptiness and these things, they're very complicated, debates they will throw. If I ask them to ask some questions on emptiness, they will say, this text says like this text, everything's on the fingertips. And then with the emptiness, I ask some questions, they get stuck. With the Bodhisattva, I ask some questions, they get stuck. Because they're just in the heat of the debate discussion, and then the translating them, the sophisticated thoughts, translating them into the practice. That is something which needs to be added. So these big monastic universities are so extremely precious, but a little bit of nudge is required for the monastic members, particularly when they're so good in the monastic studies, academic studies. A little nudge is required. Nudge to say that, hey, what is bodhicitta? I deliberately ask what they don't know. I could easily figure out what they don't know. If I ask what they know, they have all detailed things to do, detailed things to tell you. On this page, this line number 4, it says like this. On this page, it's like this. So what is this, sir? They will ask all these things. Then you ask them the question. And then they will be awakened. Okay, I need, one thing is missing. Then they go into the practice. When they go to practice, it becomes extremely powerful practice for them because they have they all already have the ingredients. They put in practice. It's just flaring like a wild. It can become like a bonfire. So powerful. So the study is very important. So, but here, what we do is that we do the 4 immeasurables, and then add with the bodhicitta commitment. But for individually, for all of us as individuals, on a personal the practice, I would say study these 2 and practice these 2 things. Okay. Ready? Let us reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in space in front of us as so loving, caring, and embracing. And your parents, all of family members, including children, and all the sentient beings with you. And then the final secret of the happiness for you and for all the beings is the unconditional love for the bodhicitta. With this aspiration to generate this, first immeasurable. Okay, today again we'll do just the first 2 immeasurables. Immeasurable compassion. And which comes first? Immeasurable compassion, immeasurable the loving kindness. Again, there are so many discussions. No need. Just we do the immeasurable compassion first. Some text says immeasurable loving kindness first. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness proud of you, like the mother after all these many years of raising her children. Today, the eldest girl, eldest daughter, just age 12, and the eldest son, just age 11, 2 of them come to the mother, tell the mother, Mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. You love us so much, and we love you so much. And now we are grown up. We'll take care of our siblings. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears with so much of joy, tears rolling down her cheeks with so much of joy and pride. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So this joy and happiness that the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas feel invoke the compassionate minds to ascend for nectars of very soothing lights towards you and all demon sentient beings. They may touch the lights and nectars with the bodies beings of yours. Washes away all the miseries and causes the miseries from you and all demon sentient beings. and you witnessing such miraculous happening towards all the demon sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my demon sentient beings are endowed with happiness, and the causes happiness. Causes happiness primarily consisting of the most beautiful mind of Bodhisattva and the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. May all my dear brothers and sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear brothers and sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars very sweet and light towards you and all demon sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectars with the body experience yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness within you and all demon sentient beings. You witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the demon sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscoring these 2 immeasurables is the unconditional love towards all the beings. Just abiding the experience of unconditional love. Incredible great love to the extent that you look at the eyes of all the sentient with total love and affection, to the extent that all the beings, they feel themselves as so special in your eye. With folded hands, let us make a Buddhist commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Even if it is so superficial, it doesn't matter. This is how we begin. This is how we start. This is the meaning of the practice. Slowly transform this beautiful mind, the most beautiful mind of the Bodhisattva into a spotlessly clean moon disk, horizontally sitting in your heart. Okay, this is amazing that you made such courage to become Buddha for the benefit of all the sentient beings. But remember that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. But I have a Buddha nature. I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which the oil does come out of the Buddha nature. With effort, my Buddha nature can be unraveled to become the Buddha. But how come that since time immemorial till now, this Buddha nature never is awakened? Yes, that's all because that I'm being deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Today I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. These two are not my friends anymore. These are to be exterminated. I'm going to do everything to exterminate these 2 demons. What can you do? I'm going to resort to a very powerful remedy. What is that remedy? The remedy lies in the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, let us quickly meditate on emptiness, retrieve the experience of emptiness, which we did as a part of the meditation 3rd seal. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person appear to you? Like a dream, or just opposite of the dream, is so objectified, so solidified there? Yes, of course, so independent, solidified, objectified there. And this is the self-grasping, this belief is a self-grasping ignorance. How to evaluate that this is ignorance, not a wisdom? Okay, if the self would exist the way it appears to you, remember what I Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage would be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person would exist objectively as I, why not I see this as I go close to this object? Okay, now we did all this before. Quickly subject the self to ultimate analysis by going too close to the self. What do you end up seeing? You end up seeing the six elements: element earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Okay, now which of the six elements is to be identified as objective as the I in eyes of the ultimate analysis? None. If none, remove these six elements and see what is there to be identified as self, keeping aside the six elements. What do you see? Nothing is left there. Okay, now from the object, where is the self? The self which you earlier saw as objectively so objectified, solidified there, where is that? It is nowhere to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, slowly transform this incredibly fearless mind, the most fearless mind in the universe, the wisdom of emptiness, into a spotlessly clean, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon-discovered heart. Okay, that's amazing. This is the meaning of this is the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas. The moon is symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, which guarantees that you are going to exterminate self-centered attitude. And the Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, which is a non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas, which will guarantee that it will exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive and carnal aspirations. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so fortunate now that with these two, the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas, my mental defilements be completely eradicated, and the fearlessness, the infinite happiness, and the Buddha nature will be unveiled fully. Yes, you're right. But don't forget your parents, your two parents are there, your children are there, and all their demonstrations are there suffering. Yes, invoke extreme, genuine, very strong compassion towards all the beings. Okay. And this compassion that we've generated invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of the Vajramon with your mother at her heart, one set with your father at his heart, one set with each one of family members, including children, and one set with each of the beings here in Dharamsala, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, God and goddess spirits, and one which each of the beings in India, in your own country, in the entire world, in the entire universe, the Milky Way galaxy, the entire universe. Now, every creature, all these trillions and trillions of creatures in the ocean, trillions and trillions of creatures in the wilderness, trillions of the formless beings, everyone has the share of Vajramoon from you. Amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Now let us not forget that all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are watching you. Why not we invite all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be the guests as well as a witness to our undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow? As a gesture making request to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand up to make three prostrations. Let us slowly stand up along with all the ascension beings to make three prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. So, if possible, try to sit on your right knees. If possible, try to sit on your right knees, how I'm sitting. If possible, try to sit on your right knees. Now to take this aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and if you have knee problem, or if you have a back problem, or if you have any health issue which does not allow you to sit on right knees, then sit in the most comfortable position. And given that this practice will take few minutes, therefore, in between, if you start to feel the pain, don't keep keep sitting. It's they sit on the right knees. Then feel comfortable, sit down to make sure that the pain does not disturb your contemplation. Okay. So now we are taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and for this there is I did mention this last evening, that there's a difference between the aspiration Bodhisattva vow and the engaged Bodhisattva vow. These two are different. And to take the engaged Bodhisattva vow, which is the full-fledged Bodhisattva vow, you require several conditions. One, that you should have some experience of bodhicitta, and you should have vast learning of the Bodhisattva's practices. And for taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, we don't require these conditions. And you may not even be Buddhist. You can be any person, as long as you really empathize with other beings, you want to benefit other beings, and at least not harm others. And this much, if you can commit yourself, you're entitled to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So with this in mind, and the meanings I've already explained before, not explained? Explained here in this session? Okay, good. So what we do is that make sure that meanings are reflected, and imagine that you are leading this, and that all the sentient beings are with you, even though your parents, grandparents, so forth, they have passed away. Still, you remember them in their own forms around you, and all sentient beings with you. And Bodhisattvas, as you have requested them to be the witness and the guests, so they are there. Just imagine that you, as a little girl, age 5, you as a little boy, age 5, for the first time in your life, you're making a public appearance on behalf of your school. And your parents, on that day, whatever they have to do, they will leave them behind to join the audience, waving their hands to you, to give you moral support. They feel so proud of you, and although you're a little nervous, you become so happy that your parents are there to support you. And then you as a very responsible child, little girl, little boy, you bring all your siblings with you for them to also take part in this program. So this is exactly what you're doing, including all the sentient beings with you, and all the Bodhisattvas. They are just there, fully focused on what they fully focus and giving attention to you for what they are invited for. And with this mind, you are performing for the first time on behalf of the school. You are taking the session Bodhisattva vow, and let us do this wholeheartedly. And you are taking this practice, and all beings are joining you. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. I generate the mode of bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mode of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in the delightful and excellent practices of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the blessed Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. I generate the mind of bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in the delightful and excellent practices of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and turn my enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhisattva to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in the delightful and excellent practice of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as the successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successful train in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successful train in the Bodhisattva practices. Just feel the joy over having received the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're extremely proud of you for the reason that all these innumerable lifetimes, they've been only expecting us to engage in virtues so that you will have the happiness, to shun the causes of miseries, to shun the non-virtuous karmas, so that we will not have to go through miseries, but on the contrary, we have been just rushing to engage in the non-virtuous actions, thereby continuously suffering with tears, and we shun the cause of the happiness, the virtues, and thereby being deprived of the happiness all the time. This makes all the Buddhists extremely sad. And today, what are you doing that make them so happy? This is something so different. It is like the mother, after all these many years of receiving complaint from the school principal over the little girl, her little daughter, little son. And every year this complaint coming from the school principal. And today again the school principal comes escorted by other staff. And again the mother is very apprehensive. What kind of complaints? And school principal said, no, I came here to congratulate you. What for? That your daughter and your son, two of them, are appointed as the best students of this year of the school for this year. The mother, after hearing all these complaints, all these many years, today for the first time hearing something so pleasant, she could not believe her eyes and ears, shedding tears out of joy. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They're so happy to see what we've done today, having taken the aspect of Bodhisattva vow. And on the contrary, since time immemorial now, we have only, instead of taking the commitment to help others, we only create problems, tensions, stress, pains on others, thereby you experiencing pains and with tears. For the first time, you do something so meaningful for yourself and for all the beings and Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Today, it is their day. They felt this. You made their day. They're so happy and proud of you. And this pride and happiness invoke the Vajra moon at the hearts of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one visualized at the heart. Likewise, at the heart, and thereby become non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all these replicas of Vajra moons from all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualized at the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of family members, including children, and each of the sentient beings here in India, in your country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe, everyone. So thereby, the becoming non-dual, blessed, and stabilized. Wow, that's amazing. Believe it or not, of all the presents that you can give to sentient beings, there's nothing greater than what you did today, and you have gifted them with this present. And of all the offerings that you can think of making to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Buddha made it very clear, Buddha declared that one moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems, diamonds, and so forth, and offered to all the Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, what we mentioned of our having taken the aspiration of Bodhisattva today, and today you have made this offering to all Bodhisattvas, and of a life, of the meanings, the purpose of life, there's nothing greater than this, what we today as a purpose of life. And today you have given such a purpose to your life. You have extracted such a meaning to your life. You have given such meaning to life. It's amazing. All these wonders are happening because of the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them, once again we'll stand up to make 3 prostrations along with all demonstration beings. Okay, please take your seats. Now let us turn to page 51. So now for us to, in the future lifetimes as well, to meet with this teaching, we include them in the form of a very powerful prayer, for which we could recite this verse 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even across my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucid sees and awakened mind, bodhicitta in this way, should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha's children. And now we're on Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall it disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel of Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me, is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that elements to the power of the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning one of the mind that dispels the torments of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churn into the middle of the Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods and demigods and all be joyful. Okay, dedicated prayer. I dedicate the marriage thus gathered towards the realization that Jesus in the prayers of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding the doctrine of Scripture and insight, may in all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the 4 wheels of the minor vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfury, and the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds specifies blinded by ignorance. Tiyata Om Gati Gati Paraga Parasamgate Bodhisattva Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva. Okay, it's just 8 o'clock sharp. That's amazing. Okay, food offering, Sonla. Ilangu, you want this? Yeah. Kavela.
Food offering prayers. We offer this food to the Buddha, the teacher of unconditional love, on the basis of understanding the interdependence of oneself and others. We offer this food to the Dharma, the perfect teachings of the Buddha. We offer this food to the Sangha, the perfect practitioner of this teaching. By the power of offering this food to the three jewels, may all sentient beings be free of suffering, of hunger, thirst, fear, and so forth, and eventually be led to full awakening, which is the highest state of happiness.
Sangye yuande samme kya, Chöge yuande samme kya, Pakpe gendun samme kya, Samme kya bla de chepe, Nambar mimban samme kya, Namda xingla jöba pö.
The qualities of the Buddha are inconceivable. The qualities of the Dharma are inconceivable. The qualities of the Arya Sangha are inconceivable. By the power of venerating the inconceivables, the results accrued as well are inconceivable. I offer this food to the inconceivable fields of perfection.
Dhamma lame sangye rinpoche, gyoba lame tamje rinpoche, tenpa lame gendu rinpoche, gyamne kunju sumna choba pe.
The precious Buddha is the sublime teacher. The precious Dharma is the sublime protection. The precious Sangha is the sublime assistant. We offer this food to the three jewels, the sources of refuge. I go for refuge in the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart.